Okay. Hello vlog, I'm starting this one out in my car. I think it's October 19th, so I am gonna do a reading vlog, and I think this one is gonna take place over the next week or so, but it's not gonna be like a vlog where I like film anything that I'm doing in my life. It's strictly gonna be about the book that I'm reading, which is A Little Life by Hana Yanagihara, and I won't say that I've been looking forward to this vlog because I think that would make me a bad person because of how upsetting and depressing this book has been reviewed. I've watched so many reviews, a lot of non-spoiler reviews. I know nothing. The only thing I know is there's a boy named Jude. I do also know all the trigger warnings, so please, if you plan to read this book, do your research, watch some non-spoiler reviews, also look into the trigger warnings because it's a very emotionally heavy book. All the research I've done on it, but I will say a lot of people will say it's a beautifully written book. It's not a bad book, but it is a book that they wouldn't necessarily recommend. So I am honestly looking forward to reading it only because I want to, it's kind of a research project for me. I want to see why people are so emotionally distraught with this book, and I'm interested. So I know that sounds weird to say I'm interested in a really terrible book, at least from all the trigger warnings. I'm guessing it's a terrible book, like premise, but I still want to read it, so I'm going to. Again, I've heard a lot of people, it is one of their favorite books because of how emotionally attached people get. Currently though, I am like 75% of the way through Mistborn, the first book, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, and it's taken me, I usually read a book in 2 to 3 days, maybe even quicker. This book is taking me like 9 days, and I'm on day I think I'm on day 10 of reading it, and it's not that it's a bad book. I really like Mistborn so far, and I know I'm gonna like the other books. I'm just a little, I think it kind of put me in a slump. This vlog is strictly A Little Life, but I said Mistborn because I'm not gonna start this until I finish Mistborn. I just want to dedicate my time to Mistborn, so I actually do finish it, and I think I'll finish it today. I will see you guys in the next clip when I start A Little Life. Okay, it is day 1. I'm gonna start reading A Little Life today. I did the intro yesterday, so I did finish Mistborn yesterday. Very happy I did. The last 15% really pulled through. Like I was Dobie. All right, let me give a quick update. I am about 35 pages into A Little Life, and I'm really not getting anything right now. I'm just getting a lot of detail about all the 4 main characters' backgrounds, which I will go into a little bit. I'm not going to do spoilers in this video, but I will give like descriptions of each of the characters, so when I mention them in the later in this video, you know who I'm talking about. But I will say I've been driving around a lot today, and there was a free audiobook on Google that I just found. So the narrator's great. I'm really enjoying the audiobook, but let me tell you guys about the characters a little bit. So we have 4 main characters, 4 boys who have been best friends. I think that it was mentioned they've been friends for like 10-ish years. They met in college, and now they're all roommates or friends somehow. I think like 2 of them to live together, and then the other 2 don't live together. But let's start out. So Willem is one of the main characters. He's very humble. He's kind of dismissive, like he wants everyone to be very comfortable, so he doesn't like confrontation. He's the good looking one of the group. He gets attention from a lot of girls. And then we haven't heard much about like his past or anything right now, but we do know that his parents have died, and he lives with Jude, and Jude is the next character that I will talk about. Jude is kind of the mysterious friend. No one, even his friends, don't know much about him. They don't know about his parents. They don't know about his past. They just have known him for the past 10 years, and he's just been a friend of theirs. He's a little introverted. He sticks to himself. He does his own thing, but he does live with Willem in a really, really crappy apartment. This is all set in New York, by the way. Oh, and Jude, I found out, has very severe and excruciating leg pain. We don't know where that leg pain is coming from. JB, a black male, and he grew up in a very feminine household. I would say JB we've gotten the most information of in this part, so part 1, and we've learned that he's kind of having he's an artist. He's kind of not a very well-known artist in New York, and he's kind of having some identity issues. That's what we're kind of seeing. I just know a little bit of the background of some of the characters. I will check in with you guys with another update. I'm nowhere near cracked into this book, but I will update you guys soon. A few hours later, I was at the gym working, and now I am at home. I read to chapter 3, which is page 75 or something. I just want to say these chapters are long as shit. I'm okay with it because I'm kind of liking the style of writing. Not dark, but it is dark. Like, the way the writing is makes you feel for these people, makes you feel for these characters in a way that I usually wouldn't feel for other characters. The friend group dynamic, they might not all talk to each other about everything personal going on in their life. For example, Willem, his brother had cerebral palsy, and his older brother died back in college, I think. And he really didn't communicate that to his friends. He didn't tell his friends that his brother passed away. His brother meant a lot to him. And he just didn't tell his friend group. But we as the readers are seeing his perspective of the whole thing, and we're getting his feelings. We're understanding the way Willem felt about his parents. Like, we're getting this side of each character that no one else has. So you start to feel for them because they're being so open. I feel like I'm the one listening to everyone's problems. Every single character has some deep, dark shit that they all kind of need to deal with, but they haven't confronted the issues that they're going through. Okay, little update. Sorry all my updates are happening in the car. It's the next day. This isn't technically like an update, I don't think. I just want to say that I've only read like another 10 parts, like 10 to 15 pages more. And now we're getting more of like Willem, so it keeps bouncing back, not between point of views, but between characters, and now we're in Willem's part right now, and something just happened with Jude, and Willem is like, when you're friends with Jude, you just don't ask questions, even if it might help Jude. You just, every time something is wrong with Jude, everyone avoids asking him like what's wrong, because Jude is very avoidant. He avoids anything that is mentioned because of him. He doesn't like to talk about himself. But something just happened, and Willem is like contemplating, like, do I ask him if he's okay? Do I ask him like what's wrong? What happened? So anyway, that's all that's happening right now. Yesterday I was gonna go film some free little libraries, but I decided not to. But I'm gonna retry today. I just didn't have my tripod yesterday, and really not in the mood to drive around and look for books, but today I think I'm in a little bit of a better mood. The weather's really nice, so I'm gonna go home and shower, eat, and then go film that while I'm listening to A Little Life. So I will update you guys periodically throughout the day. I will see you guys later. Hey guys, so I finished up it felt like a very long time doing the little libraries. I did end up filming it all, so that video should be up already when you guys are seeing this, but I've been listening to A Little Life, and it's still really good. I'm really enjoying the writing, the narrator too, because I'm listening to it since I've been driving a lot. I will say we've gotten a lot more of Jude, so I'm on part 2 of the book, and it's called The Postman, and that is Jude's nickname that his friends gave him. I won't say why or anything, but that is his nickname. We're starting to get a little bit more background on Jude, not his past, but his college age time, and like when he got his first job post-college and all of that jazz. And it seems like obviously Jude went through some big form of trauma when he was younger, like very big. He was in a car accident when he was like 15. We're still kind of getting like all of the mentors that he's had. So he had a social worker because he grew up in a home named Anna, and they only knew each other for like a little over a year, but he really loved her. She kind of knew, she's the only person who knew about his past. It's his first job, and his boss, Harold, is very kind to him, and he bought him a whole new wardrobe and for work and everything. So that's where I'm at. I will check in with you guys in the next clip. Hopefully it won't be in my car, because I think this whole video has been in my car so far. Okay, well, another update in my car. It's been about an hour. I'm on like 153 now, and I really like this quote. I thought I would share. Harold, the mentor slash father figure that Jude has in his life, something happened, but he said this quote in a letter, and it was very, very sweet. It's one that I plan to highlight. So it says, "Things get broken and sometimes they get repaired, and in most cases you realize that no matter what gets damaged, life rearranges itself to compensate for your loss, and sometimes wonderfully." I feel like it's a good quote, but I can't describe the meaning or tell you guys why it's a really great quote, because it just applies to Jude so well in his relationship with Harold, and wow, that was a beautiful way to describe their relationship together. I will talk to you guys probably tomorrow. Check in tomorrow. Hello, it is Friday. I had to pause my book for just a minute. I just listened to probably like 2 hours, and it's getting really graphic. It's just really sad and disturbing. I'm like maybe 200 pages in, maybe a little bit less. But yeah, I thought I would just update. I'm gonna go shower. That's all I have to say right now. About like an hour later, I finished chapter 2 of the second part, Postman. I have this big love for Harold. I think Harold brings a lot of good into Jude's life, and what you previously read in chapter 1 of the Postman was very sad, like disgustingly sad. Getting the refresher of Harold's point of view of how he sees Jude is just incredible. I like Harold a lot. It's so tough because I'm so lucky to have amazing parents. I grew up with a stepdad and my mom and my dad, and they're my best friends. And I think that seeing Harold's perspective as a parent, not that, I mean, Jude and Harold aren't related, but he sees Jude as a son, and he was describing the way a parent loves a child, and it's not necessarily because you love him, but you fear for them and you want the best for them and you want them to do well. The child doesn't have to be blood for you to love them like that. Just time and effort. Just like him and Jude have had a lot of time together. He thinks of Jude as a son, and it is just the way that chapter really on the opposite spectrum. Like the first chapter was incredibly disgusting. This one was very lighthearted. Not even that far in. I just hit page 200, so. Oh, but okay, bleakness over. Let's refresh the mood a little bit because of this sad book. I did get my ring. I had to get it resized, and they cleaned it too, so it looks very clean and pretty. It was a little bit big, so I got it a little bit smaller, but that's good news. And then last night I went to dinner at my grandparents, and my granddad, he knew I built my bookshelves, and he gave me his Harry Potter collection. I don't own Harry Potter, but I've always read them on my phone because my mom has them on, like, not Audible, Kindle. She has them on Kindle. It's funny too, he got these books as they were coming out. So like, I don't remember when that was, late 90s, early 2000s. Like, he got the first book and then he had to wait for the second book to come out. That's my little update for now. I do want to say tomorrow I probably won't update much at all. I work at an event from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for my stepdad. What was that side eye? What is that attitude for, baby? I just finished part 2. I'm on to part 3. I'm drinking a 0 sugar cherry Dr. Pepper. It's very good. And I'm also cooking some potatoes, some meatloaf, peppers, and onions. It'll be really tasty. While I'm cutting this onion, I will talk to you guys. So something great just happened to Jude and I'm very happy for him. One thing that the narrator does that ruins it for me and makes me even more upset for Jude is he keeps alluding to the future. So he's like, what Jude doesn't know is blank. And I'm like, no, Jude is happy right now. Let him be happy. The way that Inagahara is describing Jude kind of reminds me of Edward Cullen. Not in the way, let me just describe it. Remember in Twilight, how like sulky, dark, and mysterious Edward was in it? I don't like the Twilight movies. I don't even like the books. I did when I was younger, Team Edward, but still, like, the impression of Edward Cullen, Robert Pattinson, that's kind of who I imagine. Or like from Remember Me, like Robert Pattinson and that's who I'm picturing when I think of Jude. And I don't know why, but it works for me, so that's what I'm doing. This boy, I'm not gonna lie, this boy has been very bad boy today. He won't stop getting in the trash. It is Saturday night. Dobie and I are just hanging out in bed. I'm drinking a seltzer, and I do have my book right here, A Little Life. But he thinks it's playtime. Hold on. No, we're not playing. No, that's my scrunchie. I don't know how much I'm gonna read tonight. I have kind of a slight headache from being out in the sun all day, and I really just want to kind of watch YouTube right now. I think my main update will come tomorrow, so. I don't know what it is, but I am so emotional when it comes to this book. Obviously, Jude is the main character, and it's so upsetting to see what his life is and what he goes through. Obviously, that's upsetting. But then to see how much support he has and to see the people around him think the way they do, like how Harold thinks and how Willem thinks, it's sad because they want to help, but no one knows how to help him because he won't allow the help. It's reasonable why he's the way he is. It's just so sad. So some of these parts I do pause and like kind of just sigh and take a break from because it's really depressing. I'm gonna be completely honest, like I think I'm about to start my period because I've teared up at points that I don't think I usually would, but it's like just now something really sweet again just happened dealing with Jude's living situation. And it's just, I teared up during that part and I'm like, what? It takes a little bit for me to actually like cry, but I am tearing up already and I think I'm about to start my period, so that's all fun, we'll see. So I just finished part 3 and I'm on to part 4. Part 3 ended very sad. We got more from JB, and JB is definitely struggling a lot right now. Jude got a lot of the anger from JB because Jude is very mysterious and secretive and he doesn't like talking about his past at all. I think they're in their upper 30s right now. The time jumps are kind of weird sometimes, so like they kind of flash back and forth between memories. Like they've been friends for like almost 2 decades and they still barely know anything about Jude, so I think JB's anger came out and that was really upsetting. It was very sad. Just his words were hurtful. Okay. That was a really hard chapter to read. I'm on page 387 and I'm gonna stop until I feel like I can pick it up again. Oh my god. Okay, It's the next morning. I'm about to go work out, so I'm gonna make this quick. I did breakdown last night, and I'm like 53% of the way through the book. So I'm gonna try and get to like 70 or 80% today. I'm gonna read a lot more. But what upset me so much last night was, one, the description, and you got it from Jude's point of view. Something happened to Jude, and it was so descriptive and so upsetting, and almost, you know, when you feel for someone in a book, I felt like I needed to help Jude. Like, it was the saddest thing. And why I don't understand why everything has to happen to him. He is such a good person, and bad things just come to him. It's just so upsetting, and my heart hurts so bad for him. I started my period yesterday, so I think I'm just like 10 times more emotional, and I don't know how reading the rest of this book is gonna go, but yesterday was really tough. It was also late, and no, it was just a sad part. Like, I cried for good reason. I'm not gonna make excuses, but nothing to really check in with right now. If I were to say anything, it would be a big spoiler, so I don't want to say anything. But I just hope that things get better from here on out with Jude. But I have a feeling that's not gonna happen, so. Sorry, the music is loud, but I wanted to just check in really quick. I got to part 5 last night, which is the happy years, and I have a feeling that it's not gonna be happy. I just have that weird feeling, you know, this book hasn't been happy, so I'm like, how is it gonna be any different? But again, that's all I wanted to say. Really quick, all I want to say is fuck Brother Luke. Okay, quick reading update before I go back to work. It's like 4:30 right now, and Brock and I are going to dinner tonight, but I have to be at the gym until like 5:30 or 6. But this outfit, I don't even know if it's a kind of a fancy restaurant. Okay. Like, is this okay? It's a skirt with like some shoes. Like, it's kind of cute, right? Like a fall outfit. I don't know. I'm not very good at dressing up. I literally wear sweatshirts, leggings, and t-shirts all day. So hello vlog. This is gonna be one of my last little check-ins because tomorrow I am planning on finishing this book. But I do just want to say, I was telling Brock a little bit about the book. It is a very disturbing, graphic book, and I'm just saying this again. Please look in the description below. I have linked a trigger warning website of all of the trigger warnings in this book. It's really tough to read. It's not fun to read. You're connected to these characters in a very emotional way. The book, okay? I am planning on finishing it today. I need to find exactly what page I'm on, but no matter how long it takes me, I'm gonna finish it today. I think I have like 200 pages left, so it might be a longer reading day. I wanted to mention yesterday too, because I think every review or every little check-in that I've done, I've always said like, this is really disturbing, this is really fucked up, this is depressing. Like, yes, I think Jude's perspective on life is very twisted. He sees everything the opposite. Like, he thinks he is a terrible person, he thinks he's disgusting, and he has so much support in his life with Harold and Willem and his friends JB and Malcolm and like Julia. Like, there's so many people that support him and love him, yet he doesn't see that. He thinks that he's a burden. Honestly, besides the really like, this is so fucked up, right? Besides those parts, it is a beautiful story about friendship and family, and how family doesn't have to be blood related, and how much trauma can affect your life, especially during your developmental ages when you're younger. Like, I remember in psychology class, this was a big thing we talked about. Like, the ages like 8 to 13 are the most impressionable ages, and of course 8 to 13 were the ages he was unspeakably, like, I can't even describe the abuse he went through. What's really upsetting is, you know, that no matter what, Jude's mind will not change on how he views himself and how he views the world. But you also see the side of his life where he has so many people that love him. So you're just rooting for him. You're just like, please pull through. You're rooting for him the whole time. I feel like I'm a family member, or I feel like I'm a friend that supports him. Like, I see how beautiful he is and like how much good he does, yet he doesn't see that. And it's like the most frustrating thing, but like I get it. This might be foreshadowing my rating of the book. I don't think I'll be able to rate it. I don't think I'm gonna give it any like out of 5 stars. I think I'm genuinely just gonna say no rating when I do rate it. Actually, I'm gonna start listening to the book while I upload these videos so I can edit them, and then I can just like edit the last few when I'm done. But I am cutting onions right there, but I am not crying because of them. Ugh. Jude is just so loved. The end of Happy Years, I was not expecting at all. Okay, you guys, it is Sunday on Halloween. I should have known that. I feel like when you get older, you forget that it's Halloween. This video comes out tomorrow, and I finished the book 2 days ago. I just want to be completely honest. I did not cry at the end. Of course, I thought that it was very sad, but in the most beautiful way. I don't know how to describe it without spoiling it. So the last chapter is in Harold's point of view, and I love Harold so much. And as a parent, like, I'm not a parent, but as like reading his perspective as a parent made the whole chapter for me. Like, that chapter really will resonate with me for a while. I was really down and kind of depressed after this book. I'm just gonna give a final little recap on this book, okay? I'm not rating it. I can't rate it. I could not give it 4 stars because it's too good for that. I could not give it 5 stars because I feel like that's wrong. I can't give it like 2 or 3 stars. It's just not that low. Like, it's a beautiful book. It's definitely gonna be one of my favorite books. But the fact that it starts with the tragedy and it ends with the tragedy, and there's just a sprinkle through every single page of this book with more tragedy, I can't recommend this book. I don't know who would want to pick up this book unless they did it kind of like I did, to where I was like, why is it so sad? I had no idea until I looked at the trigger warnings. Please be careful when you pick up this book. I think that it was a beautiful book. So much friendship, family, relationships in general, just the way someone can hurt so much yet have so much support and not see it. It was a frustrating book too. There were a lot of frustrating moments. I don't know how to describe my feelings towards this book quite yet, and I think that if I end up having more thoughts and I end up typing them out, just follow me on Goodreads and you can see my final thoughts on it. But it's only been like a day and a half since I've finished it, and I can't quite put my thoughts together. That is it for this vlog. I'm done with this book. But okay, that's it. All of my social media is linked down below. The trigger warning link is down below. I also put a quotes link down below because there were some beautiful quotes in this book. Just check down in the description below. I've got links on links down there. But that's it. I will see you in the next video.